The council room floated in space between the stars. Inside, creatures from 40 different worlds sat in their special chairs. Each one looked different. Some had fur, some had scales, and some had skin that changed colors. But today, they all had the same look on their faces. Fear. Ambassador Kelvin touched his translation device again. His 6 fingers shook as he pressed the small metal piece behind his ear. He was from a planet called Arxia, and his people were known for being calm. But not today. Today, everyone was scared. 3 days ago, a message came. It was short and simple. The words said, "We got your call for help. We are coming." Nobody knew who sent it. Nobody knew who was coming. And that made it worse. The problem started months ago. A group of alien bugs called the Vraxian Swarm came from the edge of space. They were not smart like the council members. They just ate everything. They ate plants, animals, and even entire cities. 12 worlds were already gone. Billions of people died. The council had plans to stop them. Big ships with powerful weapons were being built. Computer systems said they could stop the bugs in 5 years. Maybe 6. Yes, more people would die, but that was expected. That was how war worked. Slow and careful. But someone did not want to wait. Someone sent a message asking for help. They sent it to the dark parts of space where no one lived, where the planets were too dangerous for normal life, where the council never went, and now something was coming from that darkness. "They are here," said Coordinator Thress. Her voice was quiet. She had 8 long arms that wrapped around her body when she was nervous. Right now they were wrapped tight. The big screen in the middle of the room turned on. It showed a ship entering their space. Everyone stared at it. The ship was wrong in every way. It was not beautiful like the ships from Arxia. It was not clean and smooth like the ships from Thress's world. This ship looked like it was made for one thing only: fighting. It had thick armor all over it. Weapons stuck out from every side. The color was dark gray like storm clouds. Even the shape was angry. "They want to dock with our station," Thress said. Her voice was shaking now. "They call themselves humans. They say they are from a planet called Earth." Kelvin searched his computer for information about Earth. Nothing. About humans. Nothing. These creatures were completely unknown. His breathing sac squeezed tight in his chest. This was bad, very bad. When you meet new aliens, you are supposed to be careful. You are supposed to learn about them first. But they did not have time for that. The bugs were still eating worlds. "Let them come," said Elder Morvain. He was the oldest member of the council. He had lived for 300 years and seen many things. But even his voice was not steady today. "We asked for help. Let us see who answered." It took a long time to connect the human ship to the station. Their ship was built differently. Nothing fit right. Workers had to make special connectors. Everyone waited. The fear in the room grew stronger. Some species could smell fear. Today, everyone smelled it. Finally, the door opened. 3 humans walked through. Every creature in the room moved backward. Some made sounds of alarm. Others just froze. Kelvin felt his body want to run. His instincts screamed danger. These humans were the most frightening things he had ever seen. They walked on 2 legs, standing straight and tall. They had 2 arms and 2 eyes. But those eyes were in the front of their heads. Front-facing eyes meant predator, meant hunter, meant killer. Their bodies were covered in dark uniforms that showed their muscles. Real, powerful muscles that moved under their skin like coiled springs. The female human walked in first. She was shorter than the males, but somehow more scary. Her hair was pulled back from her face. Her eyes looked at everything, missing nothing. She moved like the hunting cats from Kelvin's home world, smooth and ready to strike. "I am Commander Lisa Grant from Earth Defense Force," she said. The translator made her words understandable, but could not hide the power in her voice. "These are Lieutenant Jake Morrison and Sergeant Ryan Cooper. We heard you have trouble with something called the Vraxian Swarm." The male called Jake carried a weapon. It was not like plasma guns or energy rifles. It looked simple, old-fashioned. But something about it was terrifying. It looked solid and mean. The other male, Ryan, had no weapon in his hands, but his whole body looked like a weapon. Elder Morvain spoke first. His voice was weak but polite. "Commander Grant, welcome. Thank you for coming. We did not know anyone lived in your part of space," Lisa smiled. Every creature in the room flinched backward. Her teeth showed when she smiled. They were mostly flat, but the pointed ones on the sides were clear to see. "Predator teeth. Killer teeth. We have been watching you for a while," she said. We wanted to learn about the galaxy before saying hello. But when we heard your call for help, we decided to come. You heard a call that was not meant for you, said Coordinator Thress carefully. And you came here very fast. Faster than our best ships can move. You came from planets we thought were too dangerous for life. Earth is a dangerous planet, Jake said. He said it like it was normal, like it was nothing special. We figured that out when we met our first alien. He crashed on Earth about 60 years ago. He died in a few hours. Could not handle our gravity. Could not breathe our air. The tiny life forms in our air killed him. We felt bad about it. Your planet killed a visitor. Kelvin could not stop himself from asking. His voice came out too high. Ryan lifted his shoulders and dropped them. The translator said it meant he did not care much. Maybe we should show them why we can help, he said to Lisa. Lisa touched a device on her arm. The big screen changed. It showed information about humans and their planet Earth. Every line of information was more impossible than the last. Humans came from a planet with much stronger gravity than normal. The air they breathed would poison most species. It had too much oxygen. Their world was full of diseases that killed other aliens instantly. Giant storms covered their planet. Earthquakes shook the ground. Volcanoes exploded. Wild animals hunted each other. Everything on Earth was dangerous and humans evolved there. They grew up there. They became the top hunters on a planet full of death. Our bones are 3 times stronger than yours, Lisa explained. She sounded almost sorry about it. Our muscles are built to fight heavy gravity that would crush you. We heal from wounds that would kill most species. Our bodies fight diseases that you cannot imagine. This is why we call you Deathworlders, Elder Morvain whispered. You are apex predators from a nightmare world. We like to think we are just tough, Jake said with that scary smile. And we are very good at fighting. Earth's whole history is basically one long war. We have been learning how to fight for thousands of years. But surely you understand peace, Thress asked. Hope was in her voice. Talking instead of fighting? The Vraxian swarm might listen if we find the right way to speak to them. They ate 12 colonies, Ryan said. His voice was flat and cold. Billions of dead people. They cannot be talked to because they are not really smart. They are like insects on Earth, just eating and spreading. We know how to deal with invasive species. The way he said it made Kelvin realize something terrible. These humans were not here to talk or study or make careful plans. They were here to do what the Council had been afraid to do. They were here to kill the swarm. Show us everything you know about these bugs, Lisa said. It was a command, not a request. And despite being guests, despite being unknown, despite all the rules, Elder Morvain obeyed immediately. The screen filled with tactical information. Maps of where the swarm ships were. Data about their weapons and armor. Battle reports from the 12 dead worlds. The 3 humans studied it all with focused eyes. They were not afraid. They were not even worried. If anything, they looked excited. Jake pointed at the screen. Standard hive formation. They protect their queens in the middle. Kill the queens and the workers get confused. Their armor can take plasma weapon hits without damage, Thress said. We do not use plasma, Ryan interrupted. We use kinetic weapons, railguns, missiles with explosives inside. Old technology, but it works. Kinetic weapons? Kelvin was confused. But those are primitive. The recoil force alone would break your ships. We can handle recoil, Lisa said simply. Lieutenant Morrison, what do you think? Jake looked at the data for a few more seconds. 300 ships. They are concentrated in the outer rim. Normal strategy would be to cut their supply lines. Starve them out slowly. Would take 6 months. We do not have 6 months, Elder Morvain said quietly. 3 more colonies are in their path. Millions will die soon. Lisa looked at Jake and Ryan. Something passed between them without words. Years of fighting together had taught them to communicate in silence. Then we do not do it the normal way, Lisa said. Commander Grant, Kelvin asked, his voice barely a whisper. What will you do? Those predator eyes locked onto him. He understood why prey animals ran from hunters. We are going to do what Earth does best. We are going to show the Vraxian swarm why they should not threaten our friends. She turned back to the screen. Her finger traced a line right through the middle of the swarm's territory. We hit them head on. Fast and aggressive. Overwhelming force. They are used to civilized species fighting carefully, trying not to lose ships, trying to save resources. They have never fought Deathworlders. The human ship hung in space like a dark promise. Kelvin watched it from the observation window of the council station. Small fighter craft were leaving the main ship. Each one carried those strange kinetic weapons. Each one moved with purpose. They are really going to do this, Coordinator Thress whispered next to him. 300 Vraxian ships against one human vessel. This is madness. Look more carefully, Elder Morvain said. His old eyes saw better than most. Count again. Kelvin adjusted his visual sensors. Then he saw them. Dozens of smaller ships hiding in the shadows, using stealth technology that made them almost invisible. They had been there the whole time, waiting in silence. They planned this before they even talked to us, Kelvin realized. His voice shook. The meeting was just politeness. They already had their forces in position. A communication channel opened. Commander Lisa Grant's voice came through clear and strong. Galactic Council, this is Commander Grant. We are starting our operation now. For your records, you are about to see human combat strategy. We call this shock and awe. The human fighters shot forward toward Vraxian territory. They moved so fast that the tracking systems could barely follow them. The swarm detected them immediately. 300 hive ships began moving into defensive patterns. They prepared to crush the tiny human force with overwhelming numbers. Then Jake Morrison's voice came over the speakers. He sounded calm, almost happy. All units, you are clear to fire. Let us show these bugs how Earth handles pests. The universe exploded with violence. The kinetic weapons did not fire beams of light or energy. They fired solid metal at incredible speeds. When those projectiles hit the Vraxian ships, the results were devastating. Pure physics. Mass times velocity equals destruction. The first salvo from the human ships destroyed 6 hive vessels instantly. They just came apart, torn into pieces by the sheer force of impact. But the weapons were not the most shocking part. It was how the humans fought. Galactic warfare had rules, patterns developed over thousands of years. Ships stayed at safe distances from each other. They exchanged fire at optimal ranges. When shields got low, ships retreated to repair. Every species understood these rules. War was supposed to be organized and predictable. Humans fought like they were still on their death world, like they were still fighting each other. The fighters did not keep their distance. They dove straight into the Vraxian formation. They flew between enemy ships through debris fields, past explosions that should have killed them. They used the chaos as cover. When Vraxian warriors tried to board damaged human craft, they found the ships were trapped, rigged to explode and take enemy vessels with them. They are insane, Thress breathed. They fight like they do not care about dying. No, Elder Morvain corrected her. They fight like they care about winning more than surviving. That is different. That is what makes them dangerous. Ryan Cooper's strike team had boarded one of the large hive ships. Kelvin watched the helmet camera feeds in horror and fascination. The human soldiers were fighting inside the enemy vessel. The atmosphere in there was poison. The gravity was crushing. The Vraxian warriors were huge and armed with acid weapons that melted through armor. The humans barely noticed any of it. Ryan moved through the dark corridors like water flowing downhill, smooth and unstoppable. His weapon fired in short bursts. Every shot was precise and controlled. When a Vraxian warrior jumped at him with claws that could cut through steel, he simply stepped aside and shot it 3 times. No wasted energy, no panic, just efficient killing. Teams 2 and 3 moved to the Queen's chamber, he commanded. His voice was steady even though he was running through a war zone. Team 1, place explosives on the support beams. When we leave, this ship dies with the Queen. Another camera feed showed a human soldier named Kelly. She was dragging a wounded teammate through a collapsing corridor. The Vraxian ship was dying around them. Air was escaping into space. Gravity was failing. Pieces of the ceiling were falling. But Kelly did not leave her friend behind. She used her magnetic boots to walk on the walls. She fired her weapon with one hand while pulling her injured companion with the other. That is Martinez, Ryan's voice commented. Tough soldier. Lost her leg in a training accident 2 years ago. The prosthetic leg works better than her original one. Lost her leg and kept fighting. Kelvin could not understand this. Most species would retire after such an injury. They would take a desk job or go home. Humans just upgraded their bodies and returned to combat. The tactical display showed the Vraxian formation falling apart. Not slowly over days or weeks. Falling apart in minutes like a building with its foundation removed. Lisa Grant was conducting this battle like an artist creating a masterpiece. Her fighters appeared where they should not be able to go. They struck targets that should have been protected. They vanished before the enemy could respond. How are they doing this? Thress demanded. Our computers predicted they should have lost half their ships by now. Your computers expect rational behavior, Elder Morvain explained. Humans evolved fighting each other. They learned war against enemies just as smart and just as ruthless as themselves. The Vraxian swarm is a hive mind. It relies on numbers and instinct. Against human creativity and aggression, it has no chance. A massive explosion lit up the display. The Vraxian flagship broke into pieces. It was enormous, the size of a small moon, but Ryan's team had placed explosives on its structural supports. When they detonated, the entire ship came apart. The Queen inside died instantly. 40 nearby vessels suddenly lost coordination. They started flying in random directions, confused and leaderless. Target-rich environment, Jake announced. His fighter wing swept through the disorganized Vraxian ships like a farmer cutting wheat. More explosions, more debris, more death. The battle lasted 4 hours total. 4 hours to destroy an enemy that had terrorized the galaxy for years. 4 hours to reduce 300 hive ships to scattered wreckage and fleeing survivors. When it ended, the Earthship Valor floated in space surrounded by debris. The human vessel itself was barely damaged. A few scratches on the armor. Nothing more. Lisa Grant's face appeared on the communication screen. Kelvin noticed she looked tired now. Not broken or traumatized. Just tired like someone who finished a hard day of work. Galactic Council, this is Commander Grant. The Vraxian swarm has been neutralized. Primary hive structures destroyed. Queen organisms eliminated. Remaining forces scattered and running. They will not threaten anyone for a very long time. Elder Morvain leaned forward. His voice was quiet. Commander Grant, your casualties? There was a short pause. 7 wounded. None seriously. 2 fighters damaged beyond field repair, but crews recovered safely. 0 fatalities, 0 deaths. Kelvin felt his breathing stop. They had just fought an enemy that killed billions of people. An enemy that destroyed 12 worlds. And the humans lost nobody. How? He whispered. Lisa seemed to hear him across the distance. Because we trained for this. Every human in my command has spent years preparing for combat. We do not send anyone to war who is not ready, and we never ever abandon our people. Jake appeared beside her. He had removed his helmet. His face was scarred from old injuries, but his expression was calm and satisfied. Commander, permission to offer training assistance to the Council Defense Forces. We could teach them some useful tactics. We would be honored to learn from you, Elder Morvain said immediately. Ryan joined them on the screen. Kelvin noticed he was carrying something. A Vraxian warrior, unconscious but alive, held in special restraints. We captured some specimens, Ryan explained. Your scientists might want to study them. Learn their weaknesses in case more hives appear. We have experience handling dangerous biological samples. Of course they did. Kelvin was beginning to understand that humans had procedures for everything. Born from thousands of years of facing every possible disaster and learning to survive them all. Commander Grant, Thress said carefully. May I ask a question? Go ahead. Why did you help us? You said you have been watching our galaxy. Learning about us. You could have stayed hidden. Stayed safe in your Deathworld space. Why reveal yourselves for strangers? Lisa was quiet for a moment. When she spoke, her voice carried deep emotion. Because we know what it is like to face extinction. Earth's history is full of times when we almost did not make it. Diseases killed millions. Wars destroyed cities. The climate changed and threatened our survival. We made it through because people chose to help each other instead of running away. When we heard your beacon, we heard people asking for the kind of help we once needed. She stood straighter. Her command presence returned. Besides, we have been alone in space for a long time. It is good to know there are others out here. Others worth protecting. Jake grinned with those predator teeth showing. Plus, we needed a good fight. Training exercises get boring. Despite everything, despite all the fear and shock, Kelvin found himself making the sound his species used for laughter. These impossible, terrifying, wonderful creatures had appeared from the darkness and saved them all. And they did it not for payment or territory. They did it because it was the right thing to do. Commander Grant, Elder Morvain said formally, the Galactic Council would like to invite humanity to join us.